You ever bite into a perfectly crisp apple in, say, the middle of spring and wonder, how? How is this apple, picked months and months ago, still so perfect? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible, invisible journey your food takes to get to you. It's a wild story of technology, time travel, and a few really clever illusions. All right, let's kick things off somewhere we all know really well, the grocery store. You walk into that produce aisle, right? It's all bright colors, everything looks amazing. It just feels so natural. But here's the thing. Almost everything you're seeing, and even hearing, is part of a very carefully designed performance. Okay, you know that sound. That little psss as a cool mist sprays over the lettuce and the kale. It feels refreshing, makes everything look dewy and great, but that's not just for show. It's actually our first big clue into how stores manage the very idea of what fresh means. And get this, something like 70% of grocery chains use these misting systems. So this isn't some niche thing. It's basically standard equipment in any modern supermarket. And the reasons why are honestly pretty brilliant, and they help both the store's bottom line and what you bring home. So what's the deal with the mist? Well, it's a total win-win. For the store, all that water adds weight, and since a lot of produce is sold by the pound, that water adds directly to their profit. For us, it actually helps the veggies hold on to their vitamins and last a little longer in our fridge. And of course, you can't deny that little bit of theater just makes everything look way more appealing. But trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, so that's the store we can actually walk into. But what about the stores we can't see? The ones that power all of our super-fast online orders? Let's go behind the curtain and look at the rise of the dark store, a game-changing idea for getting groceries to our homes. I mean, seriously, think about it. You tap a few buttons on your phone, and less than an hour later, boom, a bag of fresh food is sitting on your doorstep. How on earth is that possible? Well, the secret isn't magic. It's a new kind of warehouse that's probably hiding in your neighborhood right now. They're called dark stores, and they are the secret command centers for quick commerce. They're called dark because, well, you and I can't go in. There are no shoppers, no fancy displays, no wide aisles. They are just pure, efficient warehouses designed for one thing and one thing only: getting your order out the door. Inside, the whole place is built for speed. The aisles are set up for workers or pickers to grab items as fast as possible, not for us to browse. Everything is then packed, kept perfectly fresh in cold storage, and then it's ready for that final crucial last-mile sprint to your house. It's a race against the clock that's happening all around us, completely hidden from view. But hold on. Whether that food is going to a dark store or a regular supermarket, how does it survive the crazy long journey in the first place? I mean, we're talking weeks of travel, maybe months of storage. To pull that off, the industry basically had to figure out how to stop time. Yeah, you heard me right. To make our global food system work, to get strawberries in December, science had to develop some truly incredible tech that essentially puts fruits and vegetables into a state of suspended animation. It's like hitting the pause button on their entire life cycle. This technology is called controlled atmosphere storage. The best way to think about it is like a high-tech dormitory where produce goes to sleep. Inside these gigantic, airtight rooms, they drop the temperature to just above freezing, control the humidity, and then they pull almost all of the oxygen out of the air, sometimes down to just 1%. This basically sends the fruit's metabolism into a deep, deep hibernation. And the scale of this is just mind-blowing. That apple you're eating in April, there's a good chance it was actually picked last September or October. It's just been taking a 6-month nap, perfectly preserved, waiting for the right time to be sent to the store. But it gets even crazier. It's not just about controlling the air. They often use a special gas called 1-MCP to block the fruit's ability to even sense the natural signals to ripen. Think of it like putting a pair of noise-canceling headphones on the apple. It literally can't hear the chemical message telling it that it's time to get old. They've paused it at a molecular level. So, if we put all this produce into a deep sleep for months and chemically tell it not to ripen, then how is it perfectly ripe and ready to eat right when we want to buy it? Well, this might just be the biggest reveal of all. Believe it or not, a huge portion of the produce we eat, like that creamy avocado or that sweet banana, was picked when it was basically a rock. Hard, green, and nowhere near ripe. The final, most important step of its journey doesn't happen in a sunny field. Nope, it happens in a warehouse, just a few days before you see. What's happened is that the food industry has essentially hacked the natural process of ripening. Because, let's face it, letting nature do its thing is messy and unpredictable.
Instead, they've created a system for ripening on demand, which gives them absolute control over the supply chain. So remember that pause button, 1 MCP that stopped the fruit from ripening? Well, this is the play button. Pallets of hard, green produce are rolled into these special sealed rooms. They crank the humidity way up, and then they flood the room with ethylene gas, which is the exact natural hormone that tells fruit to ripen. It's basically a wake-up call, on demand. And so many of the fruits and vegetables we love go through this. That perfect avocado you're waiting to use for guacamole was probably a green brick just a few days before you bought it. This industrial-scale ripening is the real secret to how we get perfect-looking produce every single day of the year, no matter the season.
So, as you can see, this whole journey from the farm to the store is just a masterclass in controlling time. But what happens when the food finally makes it to our kitchen? Well, that's when we're faced with a whole different clock. Those super confusing date labels. What do they actually mean?
We see them on everything, right? Milk, bread, yogurt, sell by, best by, use by. And honestly, not knowing what they mean leads to an unbelievable amount of food waste. So let's decode these labels once and for all, because this is the final piece of the food puzzle.
Okay, let's just break it down. Sell by, that date is for the store. It's a note for them, not for you. Best if used by, or use by, that's just the manufacturer's best guess for when the product will be at its peak flavor or quality. It is not a safety date. In fact, the only date label that is federally required for safety is the expiration date, and that only applies to infant formula. That's it. So here is the single most important thing to remember. With the exception of baby formula, these dates are about quality, not safety. The real key takeaway is to just trust your senses. Your eyes, your nose, they are much, much better judges of whether food is okay to eat than some date stamped on a carton. So, from the mist in the produce aisle, to the dark stores hiding in our neighborhoods, to the avocados that are literally put to sleep and then woken up on demand, our food lives this incredible secret life. It's a journey through this amazing invisible system that's designed to bend time and nature, all to bring the entire world to our dinner table. So the next time you go grocery shopping, what will you see a little differently?